This video deals with some problems involving slope of a tangent. So our first example is going to be to find the point on y equals x squared minus 3x plus 1, at which the slope of the tangent is minus 3. So the first thing to notice in the question is that they mention the slope of the tangent. And of course, straight away we know that the slope of the tangent refers to dy dx. So they're really saying dy dx equals minus 3. So we should try and work out dy dx. Well, here's our function y equals x squared minus 3x plus 1. So we'll differentiate this. And we get 2x minus 3. Now we're told the slope of the tangent is minus 3. So that means dy dx equals minus 3. So I let 2x minus 3 equal to minus 3. And now I have an equation that I can solve. So I bring the minus 3 across, and it becomes a plus 3. That gives 2x equals 0. And dividing by 2, of course, x is still 0. But I'm not quite finished yet because the question asked me to find the point, not just the x value. So now I have the x value, so I need the y value to go with it. Well, here's an equation for y. So all I have to do to get y is just take my x value and sub it in here for x. That'll give me y. I'll evaluate this and it'll come out as 1. Finally, I have to write my answer as a point. And in this case, the point is 0, 1. So at the point 0, 1, the function y equals x squared minus 3x plus 1 has a tangent with a slope of minus 3. So the next question says, find the value of a if the slope of the tangent to y equals ax squared plus 2x minus 5 at x equals 2 is 14. So again, it's important to note here the mention of the slope of the tangent. Straight away that alerts us to the fact that we need to differentiate. So I need to find dy dx, which means I need to differentiate y. Now y looks a little bit funny this time because there's an a in front of the x, but I'll just follow the same rules I've always followed for differentiation. So I know if I've got a power, the power will come in front and multiply by the coefficient. That still works here. So in this case, dy dx equals 2ax plus 2. Now I'm also told that the slope of the tangent, so dy dx, at x equals 2 is 14. So I can put in 2 for x, and I know that I'll get an answer of 14. And now I can just solve this equation to find a. Simplifying 2a by 2 first of all to get 4a, bringing the 2 over and subtracting to get 12, and finally dividing by 4 to get 3. And I'm done then because the question said find the value of a, and I've found the value of a. So here's our third example then. Find the point at which the tangent of the curve y equals 2x squared minus 3 is parallel to the line y equals 8x minus 3. Now, in all the previous questions, we've seen slope of the tangent being mentioned. Tangent is mentioned here, but they haven't explicitly said slope. However, another word has been used that kind of gives you a nudge in the direction of slope. What word do you think that is? So we see parallel mentioned, and we know that this is to do with slope. And particularly if two things are parallel, they should have the same slope. And of course, slope then brings us back to dy dx. So I need to get the slope of the tangent to my curve, and I need to get the slope of the line. And then since these things are parallel, they should be equal. So starting with my curve, first of all, y equals 2x squared minus 3. And I'm going to write down dy dx because that's going to refer then to the slope of the tangent to that curve. And dy dx in this case is 4x. The line in this case is y equals 8x minus 3. Now, because it's written in the form y equals mx plus c, I can just read off the slope, or I can think of it as differentiation. In either case, I get an answer of 8 for the slope of this line. Now, the curve and the line are parallel at a particular point, so I'm going to let their slopes be equal. So I'm going to say 4x from the curve is equal to 8 from the line, and then I can solve for x. So dividing by 4, I get x equals to 2. Again, just note in the question, they didn't just ask for the value of x, they asked us to find the point. So if that's the case, I'm not satisfied with just the x, I have to have the x and I have to have the y as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take x equals 2 and I'm going to sub it into the curve. And in this case, that's going to work out as 5. So finally, my point then is just putting the x and the y together. It's the point 2, 5. The reason I've subbed the x into the curve function in particular is because I want the point on the curve at which the tangent of the curve is parallel to the line. So here's my fourth problem. It's asking me to do two things. I want to find the point on y equals x squared minus 4x minus 3 where the slope of the tangent is 2. And I also want to find the equation of the tangent at this point. Okay, so first of all, looking at finding the point. So in the part of the question asking about finding the point, it mentions the slope of the tangent is 2. Again, we know that the slope of the tangent refers to dy dx. So they want us to focus on dy dx being equal to 2. So let's start off by finding dy dx. And in this case, dy dx is 2x minus 4. Now, dy dx, I'm told in the question, is 2. That means equals 2. And now I want to solve this equation for x. So I'll bring the 4 across and add it on. That will give me 2x equals 6, and then I'll divide by 2 to get x. So x equals 3. Again, don't forget, they're not just asking for x, they're asking for the full point. So how do I get the full point again? Well, I'll take that x equals 3, and I'll sub it into that function y is equal to. And I get a result of minus 6, and then I'll just put the x and the y together to make the point. So I have the point 3 minus 6. That's the first part of the question answered, but now I still have to go on and find the equation of the tangent at this point. Okay, so don't forget, a tangent is just a line. So when they're asking me to find the equation of a tangent, they're just saying find the equation of the line. So this means I need to use the equation of the line formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And I need two things. I need a point. Oh, well, okay, I've got that point previously in the question. And I need a slope. And I was told the slope of the tangent back here. The slope is 2. And I'm just labeling my point there, x1, y1. And now I'm going to fill those values into the equation of the line formula. So I get y plus 6 equals 2 times x minus 3. And then all I have to do is just tidy it up a little bit. So I multiply by 2. And then I'm going to write it in the form y equals mx plus c. So I'll get y on the left and bring everything over to the right-hand side. And then finally, it's just going to give me y equals 2x minus 12.